Hi everybody. I'll show you some of the models we've been doing for CEMEC, Connecting Early Medieval European Collections. It's a EU-funded project started by the Aller Pearson in cooperation with 6 other European musea. And we've been traveling around Europe to digitize objects for this museum for exposition that will be showcasing next year in 2017. It will start in October in the Aller Pearson Museum here in Amsterdam, and then it will travel on to Athens and eventually to Bonn in Germany. And part of this exhibition there will be a big widescreen panoramic application in which these 3 models will be embedded. And the viewer will have the possibility to get more information about the exposition, about the timeline, and about the object showcase to give a better view of these early Middle Ages and the relation between the different countries and the different objects and cultures. Well, I'll show you some of the objects. We've been doing some marble statues. These are rather large pieces, and they weigh more than 100 kilos. And I'll show you one here. It's a statue of Orpheus, who's scanned in Athens. And they we made a high-res model, but we decimated the mesh to create a low-poly version so that these models can be viewed online and that they can be viewed in a WebGL viewer, and that's so that they can be accessible for everybody to view. So here you see that they have a lot of holes. This object has a lot of holes inside, but we still managed to capture everything between the cavities, and it gives a good representation of this object and how what it looks like. I will also be showing some other objects, some more difficult. This is, for instance, a glass object. And quite shiny, and I think we still managed to do it quite well. We always try to capture our objects full 360, so that they are free floating and fully closed. So if we visit the museum, then we also expect them to make them accessible, these objects, even also the heavy statues, for instance. But this glass object, although it's not really transparent, you still get an idea of the shape and the material properties, and here, although glass actually cannot really be scanned, here we managed quite well because of its color and because it's not that transparent. Here we show another difficult object. It's a gold cup we scanned in the National Hungarian Museum. And normally reflective objects are really difficult, but eventually we managed well to do this object. To scan objects like this, we use a special marker that we place underneath so that we can get all the cameras aligned, and that can be difficult with objects that are this equal in surface, because all the sides look alike, so sometimes the software can have difficulties to align the photos inside the software to create the 3D model. But eventually it worked out quite well. Maybe need some small after touching and some small reconstruction, but the basis is there. Let's see if we have some other interesting objects. Here we have a small piece of a coin. It's a really small piece actually. So we scanned it in Gein, in the Museum of Gein. And this piece, it was like maybe a centimeter or even less big. It's a small fragment of a coin. We scanned it with macro photography and processed it with photogrammetry software. And eventually you get a really fine detail in the model so that you can inspect this small coin up close, even from the other side of the world, because it's now running online. And this gives big possibilities to unlock collections that are locked up in depots of musea. By digitizing these objects this way, people can get access to these objects without even having to visit the museum. So it offers big possibilities for researchers or just normal visitors to access collections of musea that are otherwise not visible. This is an icon we scanned in the Byzantine Christian Museum in Athens. It's a very interesting item because it has two sides, a representation on two sides. So now you can easily view both sides of the icon. So sometimes, for instance, when objects are displayed in the museum, sometimes they have their back towards a wall, or they have parts that are that cannot be viewed very well. And by using these 3D models and accessing them, for instance, with a touchscreen in the museum, visitors can have the possibility to view these items in full 3D and to interact with them and to view all sides and to also inspect details of the object and see how it looks like up close. Eventually we will be scanning about 70 to 100 objects, and these objects will be combined in this digital panoramic application. If you're interested, come over to Amsterdam and view this the CEMEC exposition. It will open in October of 2017.